Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to be discussing about what IT professional does. The second line support engineer. So if you are working as an IT service desk engineer, IT help desk engineer, second line support engineer, and also IT system administrator, this video is going to help you a lot. Well, my name is Kelvin Johnson, and I have been working in the IT field for the past 14 years. At this moment, I'm working as an IT consultant for a firm which at this moment I've been posted to work in a very big bank in Belgium. So in this video, I'll be showing you what IT help desk does. So if you're working as an IT service desk engineer, first of all, you'll be solving a lot of tickets that's related to, for example, users accounts, Microsoft Office, software applications, and lot more. But you also be creating users accounts, for example, working with group policies and other activities on your domain controller. Right now, if you can see, let me just go to my local server. Here you can see that I'm working on this domain controller. This is actually a domain controller. I call it the DC01. But if you are working as an help desk engineer or as an IT system administrator, definitely you'll be connecting to this server using remote desktop connection. You will not be directly connecting to the server. So let me go to tools and then start Active Directory users and computers. So in Active Directory users and computers, here you can see I have my KELV Global ICT. That is actually an organizational unit I created to kind of separate it from other standard organizational units. And here I created admins and I created computers. So what I can also do is I also create clients and domain controller. You can see we have one domain controller and just one client device. So what I can do is I can actually create a new organizational unit. So just right click, for example, this organizational unit, and we're going to create new, and then organizational unit. So I'm going to call this, let me just call this users. Let me just do that. Oh, okay. Just call this users and then click OK. Here you can see we have users under, or I'm going to take it to under this computer. Okay, I think we are good to go. Okay, it's under the KELV Global ICT Organizational Unit. So here I'm going to create a new user account. So mind you, there are different methods you can actually create a user account. First of all, we can use the Active Directory users and computers. Then we can also use PowerShell script to create multiple users at the same time. But let's just create a new user. And we can also use a copy of a standard user that have already been created in the past. Let's say you have a user account who work for the sales department and you want to create a new user account which should have the same description or the same profile as that user who works in the sales department. So you want to use a copy of that user account. So let me just go, for example, if I go here to the admins, and here, for example, you want to create a user with admin right, I can just right click and then use copy. So by using copy, it's going to use the exact copy, which means that user will have become a member of the domain controllers, domain users, enterprise admins, schema admin, and also domain admin automatically. So, but let's go back again to users and then create here new user. Or we can also do the same thing. You can see we have create a new user in the current container. So I'm going to go for that and then enter. Let's say the first name of this user is going to be Nora and the last name is going to be Jones. So the account is going to be Nora.Jones, and then we are going to say next. So let me just uncheck that because this is for training purpose, and I'm going to enter the following. And click next and finish. So after creating finish, here you can see that the user's account has just been created. We can actually right click and then click properties. And here under properties, you can see we have we can also give a description. We can say office, we can just put sales. We can also put the telephone number of the user. And here we can also add the email. But if you're using a PowerShell script, sometimes it's good. You can add all this can be also added to the PowerShell script, or we can also use a copy of a user, which of course is going to create all this, add all this automatically if they belongs to the same department. So here we can also add the address of the user, but let me go to members. You can see this is standard a domain user account. It's a domain user. So we can also click add and then add the user to other. For example, I can say I want to make the user to become a domain administrator, domain admin, or domain guest, domain controllers. Let me just say, for example, I want to make this user to become domain admin. Then we can add the user to that account. So I'm going to click OK. But I can also right click and then disable this user's account. I can reset the user password. You can say I want to reset the user password and just enter the following. And mind you, if you are working for a company, definitely you want to select user must change password at next logon. So I'm going to click OK. You can see it says the password for Nora Jones has just been changed. Let me click OK. And if you're also working as an IT system administrator or a service desk engineer, sometimes you want to remotely connect to another device. Let's say a user called you and says he have issue with his device, and you want to actually check event viewer on that user's device. What is the root cause of the problem? So if I go to tools, and in tools, I should go to event viewer. So in Event Viewer, if you want to connect to another user's device, what you need to do is to go to Action. And from Action, you see we have the option Connect to another computer. So I'm going to click Connect. We can also browse that computer. For example, you can see it's automatically select the object computer. Then we can go to Advanced and then you can enter the device name. Or if, for example, you know the device name, which of course in this situation I know is the W01. First of all, let me show you. This is a DC01 and this is the W01. So I want to connect to this Windows 11 device. So let me go back again. I'm going to say OK. So it's trying to connect. Here you can see at the top is now connected to w.01.kelvglobalict.com. So what we can actually do is we can decide to start viewing the log file of the W01. So I can just go to System. Here we go. You can see right now I'm in the system of my W01. But we can also do the same if I go to, let me go to Tools, and then I want to go to Computer Management. So if I go to Computer Management, we can also connect to that device, Computer Management. Here we have our Computer Management of this domain controller. So I can go to Action and then connect to another device and then select W01 as well and then click OK. Automatically, you can see that I'm connected to that device. So what I can do is I can go to System Tools, and here we have our users. So you can see I can even create a new user account. Here we have the account of Johnson. Let me go to my W01 and then right click and go to Computer Management. So in Computer Management, if I go to local users, you can see we have Johnson. So I can decide to create a new user here. Let me just call this test01 and then we'll call this test and then enter a password. And then hit create. So right now the account for the test01 has just been created. If I go back again to my DC01, but what we need to do right now, you can see we are not seeing that account. So what you need to do is to refresh, and here we go, we are seeing the test01. So let me try also to create an account in this direction. Let me just say, let me just call this test02, and then let me just enter a password. Oh, okay, and then click create. close. Here we have test 02. If I go back again to my Windows device and here I do a refresh, you can see we have our test 02. So these are actually the means you can actually connect to another device using your remote management, which of course I'm using computer management right now, and also I did that for event viewer, but I can totally control this device. If I go to, let me just go to remote desktop connection. So let me just enter remote. Here we have our remote desktop connection. So if I enter the account, the device name, host name, here you can see where I just enter the device host name and then click connect. So to actually try to connect to that device, you can see it's trying to initiate a remote connection. So by performing a remote desktop connection, your session will be disconnected from this device. This device is going to lose its connection if we are able to connect. You can see it's trying to initiate a remote connection. But if, for example, okay, say something went wrong on that device, probably the remote desktop connection is turned off. So what we can actually do is to go and check if the remote desktop connection is turned off on this device by going to settings. So here, let's go to system. Just go to system. And then if we scroll down, I think we're going to see the remote desktop. And a remote desktop, you can see that the remote desktop is actually turned off. That is why we could not connect. So I'll need to turn it on. Let me just turn it on. I'm going to confirm. So right now it is turned on and it says that is the device name. So let's try again and try to connect once more. I'm going to try to connect. Try to configure remote session. I think this time is going to work. I just need to enter the password and then click OK. Here we go. It's trying to secure the remote desktop connection. Right now, I'm connected to that device, but let's try and see what happens. You can see my remote desktop connection here. It's going to actually disconnect, but it's still trying to connect. It's saying, do I want to connect? I'm going to say yes. And right now, it's waiting for response. Definitely, probably a user is logged onto this device. And let me just say, okay. And you can see I'm logged off from that device, and this is trying to initiate a connection to my W01. Here we go. Right now I'm connected to my device. You can see my W01 from my domain controller. So these are some of the simple tasks you will perform if working as an IT service desk engineer. But there are hundreds or thousands of tasks you will also be performing. But if you are trying to become an IT service desk engineer or IT help desk engineer, first line, second line, or third line, and you need some assistance, you need some help, you need someone to actually guide you and mentor you to become an IT system administrator, please, you can always contact me. Leave a comment in the comment section of this video, or you can send me an email. The email is in the description of this video, and I will reply and respond to you as quick as possible. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more IT videos. My name is Kelvin Johnson, and I've been working as an IT system administrator for the past 14 years.